Years to November 2026, Ann Burns for additional 2 years to November 2026, Carol Ward for an additional 2 years to November 2026, Terry Silver for a 2 years term to November 2026 pursuant to the recommendation of Committee of the Whole.
Seconder? Councillor Welsh? Any questions or comments? None? Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? No. Approved. Motion 5.3. Councillor Salzman. Parsons Salzman.
I motion to approve policy 102, personnel as circulated, 7-day notice given on November 12th.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Hare. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? No? Motion 5.4. Councillor Welch.
I move to repeal AM 1.2.2, identification of elected official policy as circulated, 7-day notice given on November 12th.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor
Harding.
Harding. Sorry. I was thinking aloud. Any questions or comments? No? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? No? Motion passed. 5.5. Council Deputy Warden, Enslow.
I move to approve policy 120, Code of Conduct for Elected Officials, as circulated, 7-day notice given on November 12th.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Cranston. And any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passed. Motion 5.6. Councillor Agambar.
So I move to approve policy 112, Area Advisory Planning Committee policy as circulated, 7-day notice given on November the 12th.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Hare. Comments or questions? None seen. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion passed. Motion 5.7. Councillor Walsh.
I move to approve policy 122 ad hoc citizen advisory committee as circulated, 7-day notice given on November 12th.
Thank you. Seconder? Deputy Warden Onslow. Comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. No. Motion passed. 5.8. Councillor Carson Salzman.
I motion to approve policy 111, Annapolis County Planning Advisory Committee policy as circulated, 7-day notice given on November 12th.
Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Oxner. Questions or comments? None seen. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Opposed, no? Noes? Passed. And motion 5.9. Councillor Harding.
I move to give first reading to approve bylaw 1 heritage in accordance with the recommendation of Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Crankin. Any questions or comments? None seen. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Against? No? Motion passed. Last but not least, motion 5.10. Councillor Oxner.
I move to approve policy 121, citizen appointments to committees as circulated, 7-day notice given on November 12th.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Hare. Questions or comments? No questions or comments seen. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Against, no. Motion passed. Okay. Page 19, new business on the nominating committee report. Do we read every single section? I think we do.
Every single one.
Okay, I need a volunteer for the motion on page 119. Councilor Longmire.
All right, I move that Council of Municipality of the County of Annapolis approve the following appointments to committees along with their respective dates of appointment as follows. Audit Committee for term ending on October 31st, 2025. Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow as chairperson, Councillor Charles Cranton, Councillor Gidget Oxner, Melanie Robinson, and Eric Bifus. Climate Change Action Plan Review Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Jonathan Welsh as chairperson, Councillor Lynn Longmire, Councillor Jesse Hare, Clifford Drysdale, Jim Crosley, Nikki Clark. Fences and Arbitration Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Brian Connell as chairperson, Councillor Jesse Hare as alternate. Fire Services Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Brian Connell as chairperson, Councillor Niall Harding. Physician Recruitment and Retention Strategy Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Carrie Ann Parsons Salzman as chairperson, Councillor Lynn Longmire, Councillor Charles Cranton, Councillor Niall Harding. Police Advisory Board for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Warden Diane LeBlanc, Counselor Niall Harding. Public members to be recommended after personal interviews held. Planning Advisory Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Counselor Lynn Longmire as chairperson, Counselor Ted Egenbar, Counselor Jonathan Welch, Counselor Jesse Hare, John Chuck Ryan, Naomi Blanchard, Allison Warwick, Brad Redden. Planning Area Advisory Committee, Bridgetown and Area for a term ending on the submission of their draft Special Planning Area MPS and LUB. Councillor Ted Egenbar as chairperson, Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow, Carolyn Hubble, William Grant Wright. Planning Area Advisory Committee, East End Area for a term ending on the submission of their draft Special Planning Area MPS and LUB. Councillor Gidget Oxner as chairperson, Councillor Jesse Hare, Warden Diane LeBlanc, Councillor Carrie Ann Parsons Salzman, Mark Kinsman, Calvin Go. Intermunicipal Working Group for Valley Waste and King's Transit for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Warden Diane LeBlanc, alternate Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow. Annapolis County Intermunicipal Working Group for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Warden Diane LeBlanc, Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow. Annapolis Valley Exhibition for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Charles Cranton. Annapolis Valley Regional Library for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Carrie Ann Parsons Salzman. CAO Review Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Warden Diane LeBlanc as chairperson, Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow, Councillor Carrie Ann Parsons Salzman, Councillor Ted Egenbar. Lawrencetown Source Water Protection Advisory Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Brian Connell. Middleton Source Water Protection Advisory Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Gidget Oxner. Annapolis County Source Water Protection Advisory Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Robert Fagan as chairperson, Harold Baker. Regional Emergency Management Organization Advisory Committee for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Lynn Longmire, Councillor Brian Connell. Southwest Nova Biosphere Reserve Association for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Jonathan Welsh. Trans-County Transportation Society for a term ending on October 31st, 2026. Councillor Ted Egenbar.
Very well done. Okay, now we need a seconder. Councillor Welsh, seconder. Are there any questions or comments about these particular committees? Councillor Egenbar.
Just for continuity and the fact that it is an official motion in respect to what we see written here, and no disrespect, but the mover referred to Councillor Gail Oxner as Councillor Gidget Oxner. Should it be read Gail?
No.
Should this be changed to Gidget? So I guess,
Okay, so we this is appropriate.
would that require an amendment?
I don't know. We
Spelling.
use Brian Cosicano, so why wouldn't we use Gidget?
Mine says Gidget.
Mine says Gidget.
Oh, mine says-
Gidget here, I have Gidget, you have Gail?
I have Gail.
What page is that?
This must be an old one that I probably copied. Sorry. Mine says Gail.
What's in this one?
They're all Gail.
No, in this one.
No, not here.
That's the actual council thing.
Okay,
That's all.
CAO,
If I may, I think there was a preliminary list that was circulated to all members of the
Yes.
council, and there were some edits or changes made since that.
Okay.
So you're reviewing the draft copy that wasn't approved, the final one's in the package.
My apologies.
all right. Any other questions or comments? No? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? No? Passed. Okay, so now we are going to move on and page 24. If you look on page 24 to 30, that is a tracking list of amendments that are in progress or have been completed, so it can keep you on track. All right, and we're moving on to councillor comments. At this point, each councillor has an opportunity to showcase their district and say what's going on, and we can usually start with councillor from District 1 and go around the room. I'm going to put you on the spot there, councillor, but we start with District 1.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to my constituents for the opportunity to be here at the table. So Saturday, November 2nd, and I do have notes here that I will forward on to you because the pronunciation of the names is going to be a struggle. I attended the Meet the Doctors Community Welcome event hosted by the Mid-Valley Region Physician Recruitment and Retention Committee. The committee welcomed Dr. Yasmin Sadri, who will be serving at the Middleton and Area Family Health Center and with Middleton Health and Addiction Services. Dr. Shagan Debode will be serving at the Middleton and Area Family Medical Center. Dr. Thomas Hoffer will be serving at the Kingston Family Health Center in addition to joining the hospitalist rotation at Valley Regional Hospital. His wife is a pharmacist in Greenwood. And Dr. Nima Fomani is doing part emergency medicine at the Soldiers Memorial Hospital and part family medicine at the Middleton Area Family Medical Center. Also, a local group, Gathering Stitches, has supplied quilts for the physicians and their children since the first welcome event in 2021. I think the youngest member of that community is 56 years old, so, and the quilts are beautiful that they supply. But yeah, that was that event. And then just, I attended the Annapolis County 4-H Leaders Council AGM. COVID had impacted our group, but we are slowly growing again. We currently have 24 volunteers leaders in Annapolis County and 61 members and 8 clover buds. We're always looking for volunteers for project leadership if there's anyone that's interested.
Nice pitch. Thank you very much. District 2.
I guess my comments are a little bit more brief, but winter is upon us all. With this gloomy weather we've had, I'd like to have a quick check over of my snowmobile. Have something to look forward to in the near future. So I'm always happy if it snows and happy if it doesn't, either way, that way. And I encourage others in the county who have the same, beat that winter rush on gear after the first real snowfall. We really have a great great systems of trails in this county, and all over the county. And I highly encourage everybody to utilize them, whether that be a set of skis, wheels, or a pair of boots. I'm also looking forward to the Fort George breakfast. I can't beat it. And first Sunday of the month. That's pretty well it for me.
Thank you very much, Councillor. District 3.
Thank you. This side. I'm going to be very brief, I guess, because just a couple things I want to talk about. I want to thank everyone in District 3 for their continued support and the fact that I can come back to this table and work for the next 4 years with this wonderful group of people. And I also want to thank this group of individuals, the council, that had their faith to allow me to be the deputy warden, as well as Madame LeBlanc to be the warden. It's been a busy, busy month of attending meetings and community events and meeting with different fire halls and just dealing with things on a day-to-day. And it was nice that I can continue from being on council last time, so there was some continuity. And I had an internal look of how it was for me when I first got elected during the by-election, and really realized the fact we have 7 new councillors on council, that it's a big change for those 7 individuals, and how I've been trying to really put forth some type of openness and support for those 7 people. And I know it's a big learning curve, because I knew I had a huge learning curve, and I had 10 other veteran councillors to help me along the way. But I think so far we're off to a really good start. But back onto the community trail. So Bridgetown Pickleball wanted me to remind everyone that that is still happening every Wednesday at 7:30 at the Bridgetown Community School. And this group is just exploded. So it's phenomenal to see. I know I haven't participated yet. My back might say that I shouldn't, but
Ticket for that.
as well as I just want to throw in a reminder that November 23rd, so this upcoming Saturday, is the big Christmas market at the Bridgetown Legion. It starts at 10 a.m. and goes until the afternoon, or until everything's sold out, which usually happens. As well as I want to put a bug in everyone's ear for the monthly Lions breakfast, and it's served by yours truly and 2 other members, and it's the best breakfast, I feel, in Annapolis County. I just wish that other breakfasts were this first Saturday of every month. That way I could go and attend other ones, but I might be a little bit biased, but I feel the pancakes are the best, because that's what I serve. Thank you.
Thank you. District 4.
Thank you. First, get ready to notes, but I'll try to be quicker. First, I just want to pass on my appreciation for the REMO team here at the County of Annapolis. I had noticed since being elected that there's an awful lot of updates on social media and in our emails of that. I even believe there's a test later this afternoon, so I just want to pass off my appreciation for that team. Since being elected, I've had a lot of invitations and for introductions from members of my district starting off. I think the very first weekend after the election, I attended 8 personal invitations to come meet, and then realized maybe slow down a little, but wanted to set the tone good. I've also been to a number of community events, including the farmers market here in town. I've been to about 3 of them in Moshel, including a wonderful performance by a young man, Carson Fullerton. If anybody has had a chance to see him perform, I see people nodding. If you haven't, I would recommend getting to one of his shows. Events in Cornwallis Park, Bramble Center, and Belle Isle, 3 of which were community breakfasts, and I would say they were all equally as good. I favorite.
Just being biased.
I attended an event called the Taste of Acadia in Belle Isle. It's at the Acadian Cultural Center there in Belle Isle, and I would like to recommend if anybody would like to learn a little bit more about the Acadian history, specifically in this area, to pop by. It's full of artifacts and little displays. Attended the Remembrance Day ceremony in Clementsport in the annual banquet at the Annapolis Royal Volunteer Fire Department, as well as a board meeting put on by regarding affordable housing projects in Kings and Annapolis County, put on by the Valley Roots Housing Association. I hosted my own thank you and welcome meet and greet in Granville Center. There was about 30 or 40 residents come out, which for me was a good turnout. It was more than attended the campaign ones, so it was good. And just mostly out of that, the residents seem to really appreciate having the accessibility and the opportunity to meet their counselor, specifically after the election, recognizing it wasn't part of a campaign, but more about accessibility. And I'm not aware of any specific events coming up, other than I know there is a lot of Christmas functions coming up around the end of November, and I see almost December 6th and 7th, almost every community has something planned for that day. So overall, the community seems very positive. I've had lots of people were commenting on the number of new faces and whatnot. I had one resident say, please don't let it change you now that you're in, so just offer that. I told him I wouldn't, but it is probably good to reflect on as we get in here to just remember why we all originally ran. And overall, there is a positive vibe, but I think it is important to note that the one thing I am hearing is there are many people in the area who are struggling this time of year, specifically with the local economy. I know we're not talking about provincial and federal issues, but municipal elections, provincial elections, U.S. elections, and potential for a federal election, there is just a lot of uncertainty and concerns in the area, and we need to be mindful of them. Property taxes, the affordability of property taxes is one that affects us, so, in how we spend our money. So, just things to be mindful as we go into 2025. And overall, I'm just thank you for the opportunity to represent these folks, and I've enjoyed my first few interactions with all of you, and optimistic for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. District 5.
Good morning from District 5. I did lose my voice on the weekend, so I'm struggling to get it back. So if it sounds really raspy, I apologize. First and foremost, I would like to thank my district for re-electing me for this next term. It's going to be an exciting term, lots of hard work ahead of us, and I believe that each one of us are ready for it. There were several things that I was able to attend this month. Probably the most important for me was the Remembrance Day service held at the Annapolis Royal Legion Branch 21. It was an amazing service. Well, sorry. It was a very large gathering, which was absolutely outstanding. Standing room only. And I was fortunate to lay a wreath on behalf of Annapolis County with fellow councillor Niall Harding. Along the journey in the month of November was the Health and Wellness celebration held at the Bridgetown Fire Hall, and it was amazing to see all of the different groups of peoples around our county doing great things for our citizens. And they were celebrated. They were able to speak and share their craft. Bell's Pantry is located in Parker's Cove. It's at address 4841. And again, as other councillors will speak about, the infirmities around our county are real, very palpable, and at times very personal for many. The pantry is stocked with everything you can imagine. And, Deborah struck this up and she said, this isn't just about those who are infirm. If you feel you need, just take from it, right? And as well, add to it if you can on your journey, if you can, be charitable. The Climate Fair in November was hosted by Annapolis Royal, but I did attend and was asked to make a little comment along the journey there. Great vendors and lots of awareness around things that are happening in climate. The Christmas sale at the Lower Granville Hall was a huge success this past weekend. Amazing vendors. Boy, do we have some creative people in our county selling some wonderful things. Great way to shop. I would like to say that if we can, to keep these halls alive, do everything we possibly can, because they are the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Fire service banquet on the weekend was well attended, and some amazing awards. 35 years for some, I hope that we can keep that legacy up. It was a a time of reflection as well on behalf of fire and communities with recognizing two members who, have passed away and certainly had spent many a year. Terry Hamilton, one to mention, over 42 years. Bayside Farms on the north side of my district, great seasonal product. So, again, all of these wonderful little farmer shops at the end of roads and such, if you can pick from them and support them, I urge you to do that. They're located at 1126 Mackenzie Mountain Road. Food banks are real. They're around us everywhere. Try and support. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Councillor. District 6.
Morning, everybody. I made a bunch of notes, too. See how it goes. First of all, I'd like to thank all my constituents for electing me to this position, and I hope I represent you all well. Even the ones that didn't vote for me, I hope maybe if I run again in 4 years, I get their support as well. I've been receiving calls daily from community members regarding various issues in the community, and I really like that personal approach. I really enjoy that ability to talk to constituents on a one-to-one basis. And I'm getting calls from your riding as well, because some people think that you're dealing with those as well.
Send them my way, yeah.
The large construction culvert project that's happening on Highway 1 alongside Franken Doors outside of Cornwallis Park is on schedule and moving along nicely. I don't know if you know, there's a large detour right now that's happening down there that's causing a lot of frustration for some people. And especially if you use your GPS, it'll send you down quad trails. So don't use your GPS. Rail trail repairs have happened to the Upper Clemens Bridge that was damaged in recent rainstorms. That's been repaired and work is happening along the trail close to Allen's Creek. I managed to get a Canadian flag up at the Veterans Memorial Park. I'm hoping to get the rest of the flags up in the next little while and get that moving forward. That was as a constituent asked me to take care of that. I will mention the water project that's happening in Bear River because I am the president of the Hillsborough Water Society right now, and we're kind of in transition with the county taking that over. So with the issues that are going on, I'm also actively involved in that, which has been quite busy this last week. I also attended the Remembrance Day service at the Bear River Fire Hall. It was held indoors because of the weather this year, and I was able to lay a wreath on behalf of the county. There is an upcoming Christmas tea and bake sale at the Deep Brook Waldeck Lions Club. I forgot to write down the date for that, but I believe it's on the 7th. And the next breakfast at the Folger Hall, which is a very good breakfast as well, in Cornwallis Park, is happening on December 14th, and the next meat bingo happens there every Friday night at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much. District 7.
Morning. Greetings from District 7. I am very excited to represent District 7 for the next 4 years and feel confident that the newly elected council will work together to achieve our mutual goals. So far, I'm very pleased with what we've managed to put together here, and I'm sure it will continue. November the 6th, I attended the Annapolis Community Health Boards, as well as Councillor Longmire. 2024-25 Wellness Fund celebration held at the Bridgetown Fire Hall. The purpose of this event is to recognize and celebrate various nonprofit organizations throughout the county for their commitment to and support that they provide to the health and wellness needs of their communities. This year there was 8 recipients for the award, and they were honored. On November the 11th, the annual Remembrance Day ceremony was, of course, held at the Bridgetown Legion, where both Councillor Inslow and I, myself, presented wreaths on behalf of the County of Annapolis. The Legion Hall was filled to capacity to honor our fallen soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice and to recognize our current military members whom work to keep us safe and free. I am pleased to report that the last section of the Bridgetown Active Living Loop is now complete and open to the public. The Loop, as it is known, is a 4.5-kilometer looped hiking and biking trail that starts at the Sports Hub and winds its way through Bridgetown to Jubilee Park and back. The last section I referred to is the brand-new connector trail linking the Sports Hub to the Harvest Moon Trail. That's the old railway track line, and completing the loop. The project, which began pre-COVID, was developed and overseen by the Development Committee of the Bridgetown and Area Chamber of Commerce and chaired by Nancy Price. Her team of dedicated volunteers have worked diligently over the last 5 years to see it through to completion, and there are plans for a grand opening to be held in the spring. On Friday the 15th, West Dalhousie Community Hall held its monthly Farmers and Makers Market. Besides the booths, they offered a hot eat-in or take-out dinner, and there was also a jam session featuring local musicians. All are welcome, and I invite everybody to support your local community halls as well. As Councillor Longmire indicated, these are the lifeblood of our communities, and we should support them the best way we can. On December the 6th, the Bridgetown Light Up the Town is on again for this year, and this year they're also going to be lighting up the park. There's lots of volunteers involved in that. It's a gala Christmas celebration, street parade, vendor booths, kids' activities, s'mores in the park. Everyone's invited. Come on out and enjoy the Christmas season kickoff. And fireworks. Right, thank you.
Thank you. District 8.
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank all the residents of District 8 for putting their trust in me to be their representative here at this council table. I really want them to know that I take it seriously and that I'm really going to strive to include good communication and transparency in everything that I do. I'd like to thank everyone that participated in Remembrance Day ceremonies across the county on November 11th. It's really important that we all continue to remember the sacrifices that service people made and continue to make to ensure all of our freedoms. Specifically, I'd like to thank the Royal Canadian Legion as an organization, as a whole, and all their branches across our county. As you can hear, we've all attended different services, and it's a volunteer organization, and those people go there and volunteer their time to make sure that we all have those services to go to. I would also like to specifically thank Port Royal Branch 21, where I attended with Councillor Longmire to lay a wreath on behalf of the county. It was an excellent service. It was very, very well attended, and there was an excellent reception afterwards as well, with refreshments, food, an excellent seafood chowder, and all of that was put on, for free, again, by volunteers. They did just a great job, so I'd like to thank them. I'd like to mention an upcoming event, the Bear River Wintertide Festival, which is going to be one day only, November 23rd. It includes a multitude of things. There's all sorts of things going on in Bear River and the surrounding area. But there'll be craft fairs at the Oakdean Center, the Bear River Fire Hall, the Bear River Legion, and also at the Foresters Hall, which is in Clementsville, so on your way. Like I said, the food businesses are going to be putting on deals and things as well. All sorts of special deals and different events, so it would be a great way to spend the afternoon on a Saturday afternoon. I'm out of town, or else I would absolutely love to be there. So if there's more information on that on Facebook. You can check out the Clementsville and District Recreation page. There's all sorts of information there about the Wintertide Festival. I'd just like to make a quick update as well on the far south reach of my district. There's a little community called Albany New. They have a road called Albany New Road that has been having some issues, and as far as I know, they are now being addressed. I'd just like to give a shout out to the residents on that road. Jackie Burke was one that I spoke to, as well as others, for keeping that front of mind. And as far as I know, the ditching on the road is being done. And half of the road is Queens County, half of the road is Annapolis County. I've been told the Annapolis County side is now nicer. Thank you very much.
Councillor for District 9.
Good morning. I'd like to start off by saying I'm grateful to be part of this team, including councillors, residents, and the staff of the county. And I hope I do a wonderful job for District 9. I had a meeting with Pastor Jeff Milne at the Nicktaw Baptist Church, and I was astounded at the collaboration between the various churches for the community. The Middleton Baptist Church provides for unhoused people nightly from November 1st to April 30th. They're looking for more volunteers, particularly men, for shifts overnight. They can currently house 8 people on a nightly basis. And they're, again, looking for more volunteers. I went to a function at the church with a former counselor for the district, and she very kindly introduced me to so many people that the names are now a blur. And they also held a bake sale at the fire hall to raise funds to replace items that were vandalized in the cemetery. The food bank continues to see an increase in use, and they're looking for donations as always. There are a lot more people with food insecurities now than ever, so that's a very important thing that we need to keep top of mind. And I'm looking forward to working with the council as a representative for District 9. There'll be a learning curve for all of us new councillors, and we've had training opportunities already, and there'll be more going forward, which speaks well to our future. And I hope that our positive discussions, as we experienced in our Committee of the Whole meeting, continue. And, all of us, the public, councillors, can have differences of opinion, but we can stay respectful, and active listening is very important. And that's all from me.
Thank you very much. Councillor District 10.
Good morning from District 10. I want to thank the citizens of District 10 for their support and allowing me to be their representative for the next 4 years. As most know, I represented District 2 for a number of years, and since I live in District 10, I thought I would really like to support my community I live in. On November 10th, I went to Springfield to a remembrance service. They held it the day before Remembrance Day. Actually, there was a very, very good crowd. They had a luncheon afterwards, and I laid a wreath there on behalf of the county. It was very nice and well reception. On November 11th, I went to the ceremony at the Community College in Lawrencetown, which is known as COGS. The Lawrencetown Legion, for the past few years, has held their Remembrance Day ceremonies there, and that was very well represented throughout. So I laid a wreath there on behalf of the county. So it was very nice to see the support, and like everyone said around the table, it's to remember the past and support the ones that are there now. I attended a village meeting last night, my first village meeting. It's kind of different when you go to identified municipality within our municipality, I guess. And good to see that they got a pretty good handle on the things they do. They had a few questions, and I didn't have all the answers. I'm not sure when our county office is open in Middleton, or if it is open certain days now, so there was questions about that. So I definitely will pass on when I get that information. They had a presentation last night that I really feel that if we have the opportunity, our county should look into it. They had a presentation from Gord McKenzie. He's the overseer of Community College in Middleton and the Community College in Lordstown. So his presentation was about what they offer, where the students come from, things they deal with. Very interesting. They've got things on their docket that we're trying to put committees together, and they're actually involved. And one that came off, the first thing I thought about was the climate change. And so they have an active group and class on climate change. They have forestry geomatics. Of course, they have other technology and stuff, and IT programming. In Lordstown, they stick to the surveying part of it. They do a marine geomatics and a survey and technician. In Middleton, they've been asked by the province to bring on some trades. So right now they have had classes on nursing and the LPNs and stuff like that. So they're bringing, and I think they've had plumbing maybe. And now they're bringing electrical back. So I think that he did a good presentation. They allowed him 10 minutes. It really wasn't long enough for him to really excel at what is involved. I think our county should be very proud of having a college within our county, and we have two. We have the Middleton campus and the Lordstown campus. He gave the story about a few years back when COVID was on, and during that period of time, there were students living in their vehicles because there was not enough housing. That's when they decided to build their residence at the Lordstown site that has, I think, 23 one-bedroom apartments type of thing, and then they have 3 rooms for overseers, or hall monitors, or whatever they want to call them. But I think that it would be nice for us to bring him to council and let him do his presentation, because again, sometimes we don't promote what we have in our district, and having my own young fella went there and graduated from there. They have kids getting jobs all over the world, and that's what I think that's very important, that we see what goes on there. It's becoming, he said, the biggest thing right now is they've advertised and advertised and advertised, and he said they get more out of their students advertising for the college than they ever do by putting advertisement out. So they're doing wonderful things, got good programs, so it'd be nice to see him come to council. I want to speak a little bit on the Pony Express, only because we've had him here. My little 5-year-old grandson told me last week how they were at the Lordstown School and they rode 16,000 kilometers, and I think his numbers were off, but he was so excited about telling me. And for a 5-year-old to take in that educational part was amazing, that we did this and are doing it throughout the year. I was telling him that his actual grandmother's house was a stagecoach house in Brickton. And when they came from lower end of the county, they'd stop at the stagecoach house and stay overnight there. And he said, "Oh, that's why my Grammy's got horses, so they can switch horses out there." I don't know if he still thinks it's going on or what, but it was remarkable to hear from him as a 5-year-old and given his perspective on it. I have lots of things to report on. I'll try to make it fast. It is a busy time of year. The Lawrencetown Area Seniors Association, they have an exercise classes Monday and Wednesdays from 10 to 11 a.m. 55 plus, come out and enjoy head-to-toe exercises, and that's held at the Lawrencetown Legion. Lawrencetown Rink opens on the 22nd, and anyone that has kids or themselves that want to get into shinny hockey, they've raised enough to have it free for the year, and they also have some gear available for different size individuals. Everyone donates their old gear, so they got a bunch of gear there that's available. Also Saturday, December 7th, from 4 to 6, come and join the Village Commission along with Santa for an evening of skating, hay rides, hot dogs, chili, and hot chocolate. So that's on December 7th. On November 21st, Thursday, 7 p.m., Annapolis Valley Exhibition Society Annual General Meeting is at the Lawrencetown Fire Hall. Saturday, November 23rd at 1 p.m. and on Saturday 30th at 1 p.m. at Beaver Creek Winery, there is a Awkward Acres Fresh Wreath Workshop. And this, you create your own fresh door wreath, and you can contact awkwardacres@gmail.com to inquire or register. Thursday, November 28th, Lawrencetown District Lions Club, which runs out of the Legion in Lawrencetown too, they hold a spaghetti dinner. Adults are $10, under 12 is 8, under 5 is free, and this is held at the COGS building. So the community college does a fair amount for not-for-profits in the area too, so this is one of the things they allow, is the Lions Club in Lawrencetown puts on some different meals there. Saturday, November 30th from 8:30 to 12 p.m., the 35th annual Breakfast with Santa, Lawrencetown Consolidated School, breakfast, craft sale, ticket auction, yard sale, and more. Breakfast is from 8:30 to 10:30, adults $5, children $3. And this is a fundraiser for the school. Check out Lund's Mill on Facebook to see all their events and fundraisers for what they do for local not-for-profits and workshops. Saturday, December 7th from 8 to 11 p.m., the annual Christmas breakfast at Ingesville Community Hall, adults 10, 12 under free. And on Sunday, December 8th, they have a Christmas craft market from 10 to 4, and that has local vendors and bake tables and etc. It is a time of year to be kind and to help those in need. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I am Councillor for District 11, and I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for all the work that you guys are doing out there as councillors, and all the presenting to us all the things that are happening in our districts, because as a county, we work as one, and we need to help all these different organizations because they work really hard, and they're great volunteers. So it's always nice to hear what is going on in the districts. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you and welcome, and we are going to be a great team of councillors working together. We are open, we discuss, and it looks like a very bright 4-year term. So thank you for that. I have also participated in different things this month. Remembrance Day, the bank, the Annapolis Royal Fire Department, and had different other meetings that I usually don't have that come with the job as the warden. And I've discussed and spoke to different people on the phone and the counselors as well, so that we all keep in contact and know what's going on. I have one thing that I have to announce for the Three Rivers Community Center. First of all, make sure you check out the Facebook page, because there's a lot of activities going on there, so to list them all, you might as well look. But there is one event that they're definitely putting out there now, of December the 14th, which is a Saturday. And they will be on stage at the Torbrook Three Rivers Community Center. The band known as Common Ground, which is a bluegrass band, and it's entertainment for all ages and a great time for all. So that's at 41 Messenger Road in Torbrook Mines. So at this time, thank you for all your information, and we are done this part of our meeting. Do we want to take a break now, or get ready and move on to our next step?
It's almost done.
Okay, so we're moving on to our public hearing. This is in your packet. This public hearing,
Yep, the gentleman, subject of the public hearing is going to come on the screen.
He wasn't able to join us today, so we're teamsing him in. And if I take a coughing fit, I'll apologize now.
I have a question regarding the streaming of our meetings. One of my constituents, they asked me why the CEO, the committee of the whole meeting last week wasn't streamed live. Is it not happening, or does it happen?
It was streamed live, there was just some issues with what platform.
yeah.
Okay.
So I had the same concern, but also there was other people that were watching. So apparently it was just what platform they used. Okay. So I do know there's people watching right now.
Yep.
Because we always get messages throughout the
Yeah.
meeting. Or I do anyway.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's just whether they're using Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome
Yeah,
or something?
I have no idea. Not that. All I know is some people were able to watch it live
Yeah.
based on what they were doing, and then some people could not.
That's above me.
But there's people watching right now.
Right now.
As the phone blows out usually.
Yeah.
Do you get that on your own personal feed, the questions, or is that like a municipal feed?
No, public.
No,
It's public?
Yeah.
yeah, it's public, but people just message my phone,
Okay,
text message.
okay. That's what I think was happening. I finally shut the darn thing off. It just keeps going off.
Well, while we're waiting, so some of the comments were all positive, by the way. They were all, from what I've read, is people are very happy with the group we have here, and that they thought that the comments were very informative, and people are super excited about the next 4 years, from the people that texted or messaged me. So I'm sure there's others that don't feel the same way. However, we can only do what we can do.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Can you hear us?
Well, I can now, thank you.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we'll get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are doing a public hearing for the deregistration of Captain James Anthony House in Port Wade. The purpose of this public hearing is to permit members of the public to make their views known to council via oral press submissions concerning solely the application before council. This public hearing has been called in accordance with Section 16 of the Nova Scotia Heritage Property Act. At the end of the public hearing will be closed and council will return to its regular session of council. Before municipal council agreed to deregister a property that is in the Annapolis County Municipal Registry of Heritage Properties, a public hearing is held where the registered property owner is given the opportunity to make comments to council regarding the heritage deregistration. The purpose of this public hearing is to discuss heritage deregistration of the Captain James Anthony House with the property owner who is requesting municipal heritage property deregistration for 1625 Granville Road in the community of Port Wade. PID number 05096599, more commonly known as the Captain James House property. Council can also use this time to explain what heritage deregistration means and to ensure that the property owner is aware of and in complete agreement with the deregistration of their property as a municipal heritage property. Now, remember, all questions and comments throughout the public hearing are to be addressed to the chair, which is moi. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our staff member, Ms. Bent, to do a presentation.
Perfect, thank you. So as you are aware, we've received an application from Mr. Khan in regards to his request to deregister his property at 1625 Granville Road as a municipal heritage property. I've included in your package the information that went to Committee of the Whole in September. So from that, I'm just going to give you some very brief highlights from the report, and then we'll take it from there. So Mr. Khan made an application to deregister the property due to the great difficulty obtaining homeowners insurance for the property. During a recent conversation with his local insurance company, the insurance company was made aware of the property as being a municipal registered heritage property, and they were uncertain if the current underwriter would insure the property based on its heritage status. After much research and discussion, Mr. Khan discovered that to insure his home, which is a seasonal residence, would cost him an additional $2,000 per year over and above his existing rate. He is also concerned that his current insurance provider will cancel his insurance due to the risk of it being a municipal heritage property. Mr. Khan's mother registered the property in 1995, and while he would love to be able to maintain her wishes, he's just not sure he would be able to maintain that. In 1995, when staff did a review for the registration of the property did actually score very well as being a classical revival architecture. It was also noted by staff at the time that the architecture of the house is actually not uncommon to the area. A search of Captain James Anthony garnered to me only his obituary of 1913, which stated he was a much respected citizen and deacon of the Baptist Church. It makes no mention of him being a sea captain. A search of local history, such as the age of sail in Annapolis County, also does not make any mention of James Anthony as being a captain. That's my report in very brief.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so, to Mr. Robert Kahn, which is the property owner, The heritage deregistration is a legal process enabled through Section 16 of the Provincial Heritage Property Act. You, the property owner of 1625 Granville Road, Port Wade, understand that should municipal council agree by motion to deregister the property, it will no longer be registered as a municipal heritage property and will be removed from the Annapolis County Municipal Registry of Heritage Properties. Do you acknowledge and understand and accept these conditions of municipal heritage registration, Mr. Khan?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Now we call for oral presentations if there are any. Okay, Mr. Khan, would you like to speak first?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you to the council for entertaining my application request. Very much appreciated. And thank you, Ms. Bent, for helping me through the computer setup here on this, well, it's a team meeting, I guess, and it was very quick and easy to join. So thank you for your help there. My heritage goes back quite a way in Annapolis County. My grandmother was raised in Granville Ferry, came down to the United States as a young woman, and as a kid growing up, my mother and then I was brought up by her to visit her home. And since my mother purchased this house over 35 years ago, close to 40 years, I've been coming up just about every single summer. And her passing was 11 years ago, and I've continued to come up and maintain the house and enjoy my summers up there very much. So I've always been a pleasure to come up and back to my grandmother's home. My great-grandfather was Captain Joseph Hall, whose house was moorings and then the Seafaring Maiden in Granville Ferry. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. This was a surprise to me this summer when I dropped by and talked to Annette at my insurance company. We have maintained that insurance company from the very first. I think probably what happened is that when my mother had the house, as the local term is called plaqued, as Ms. Bent said, in '95, I don't think she made that aware to the insurance company at that time. In my discussions last summer, this was a new knowledge to her at the insurance company. And when I found out through research that she could not find another company willing to insure a heritage property, and then in the discussion, of course, found out that the house was a municipal heritage property, she told me she wasn't sure if the insurance company knew it, and that clearly all companies across Canada are reducing risks as far as they can. It was kind of a comment that I kind of gently cried out of her. I wanted to know what the companies thought of a heritage property house, and just basically they're looking to only insure perfect properties now. Now, what a perfect property is probably a house that's right next to a fire station, for their terms. This house is over 17 kilometers from the fire station, which makes it a liability already to the insurance company, or a higher risk, I should say. And also being a seasonal property, even though I have a local caretaker right down the road, that is still another high risk for an insurance company being a seasonal. My concern is that if and when they find out that this is also a heritage property, I will be over risk in their eyes and they will drop me. She said that the other company would not, clearly would not insure a heritage property. And the two other insurance companies that I talked to, one said that they would insure it, but at an additional $2,000 above and beyond what I'm already paying. My whole conversation last summer started because I thought prices were exorbitant and each year going higher and higher. My insurance costs are higher than the cumulative costs of property taxes, heat, electrical. It is just the highest cost that I pay is insurance, and to put another $2,000 on it, I think is just going to be unreasonable. Obviously, I don't want to go without insurance, but these costs are just getting way, way too high. I don't see a way around this, and I'm not sure if a Nova Scotian, Providence, or provincial, or Canadian historical property foundations are aware of what is coming down on heritage properties. But certainly, as a single individual, I do not feel that it's reasonable for me to try to fight the national insurance lobbies of Canada single-handedly. So it is with regret, because it was important to my mother that the house was registered, having our heritage there. But I just do not feel that I can keep affording these costs. And I think eventually, being a heritage property, the $2,000 additional would quickly climb above that to really become an unbearable cost. It's a small house on a small lot. It's less than a half acre. I have no plans, no interest in putting any additions on it, expanding it, or anything of that sort. I'm very happy with its size as it is. It's a place that I go and relax as a retired individual, and I don't plan to be doing any kind of expansion or project. I plan to leave it to my children, not to sell it. I hope that they will be able to come and have their vacations there. They're starting to now, even though they live quite a distance from Annapolis, but they are coming back now now that they have time and financial resources, they can make trips back there, and what I'll be doing is leaving it to them. It has never, I'm sure that my mother has never applied for or utilized any historic tax credits. If there were some to be availed to that house, I do not know. I never have. We have never applied for any property tax reductions based on the heritage designation. That can occur down here in the States in some municipalities. I don't even know if it's available up there, but we have never received any tax benefits, deductions or credits. I think I can leave it there for the moment, but I will certainly be happy to answer any questions or any thoughts or considerations that you have for the condition that I found myself in now. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Okay, at this moment, we are looking for oral presentations from the floor, from the public? Are there any public members here to do an oral presentation? There are no public presentations. Okay, so now the councillors, any questions or comments? Yes, Councillor Longmire.
Thank you. It's tricky having your back. And I know I have to direct myself to the warden, but I'm so sorry to know the challenges that you are facing, and you're not in isolation. There are going to be many that are going to face the very same challenges. Insurance companies are changing. We're noticing, drastic changes even this year. I know I have personally shopped outside of Annapolis Royal and gone to Halifax and found gross decreases in rates. So I guess my question would be, have you considered a broker rather than an insurance company? I do know, after speaking with some people who as well have heritage properties, that they have researched, and Gallagher's in Halifax seems to have a tremendous amount of, history with heritage properties. So I would just urge you to perhaps consider a broker rather than just an insurance agent. I think when we look at our history and what weaves us together in our counties and in our communities, these places and spaces are special. And I certainly am disappointed and heartbroken that our insurance companies are taking us to a place of unreason. I guess I'll leave it there, but I really do thank you for raising this, and I think you're going to now speak on behalf of many who in the future will see changes as well. So hopefully this will illuminate some knowledge around us. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Agenbach.
Yes, thank you. I'm just wondering, besides the proximity that you mentioned regarding the closeness to a fire hall, what risks are these insurance companies telling you that are at issue here? What are the risks to them?
Well, it was the fire hall. It was being a seasonal property, but I think the overwhelming sea change seems to be that given the damages that have occurred across Canada and across the United States from fires, floods, and so forth, the insurance companies are just, it doesn't matter if your house is safe and up on high ground and cleared of timber. We will all be increasingly bearing the load of the losses that they have suffered throughout North America. It just seems like these will continue to increase. Now, my local agent in Annapolis was very clear that insurance companies are just getting more and more, or increasingly selective on what homes they want to insure. And I quote this in her words, taken out of context, but they only want to insure, quotes, perfect properties, unquotes. And that seems to be where they're going. And what constitutes, again, a perfect property, I'm not sure. It's probably a new built home with sprinklers and next to a fire department. I told her that I would not try to build back the house with 1800s materials if there was damage to it. As a heritage property, the overall front of the house, the face of the house would have to be, of course, built back to standards, but I don't think, I told her, I don't think anybody can get 9 or 10 inch wide flooring boards anymore and so forth, and that I would not be attempting to build back to that standard. She said it doesn't matter to the insurance company. If it's a heritage house, you're in it 100%, that there's nothing you can do or say to alleviate what they feel is a greater risk in cost. And that's just, she said, just where they are these days. I want to continue to do business with a local insurance agent. I take the suggestion of asking for a broker as a good suggestion, but I would hope to be able to insure the house locally with a local business and not have to go to Halifax and begin fishing for a new agent or a new insurance broker. I'm not sure how I would hold up either, again, with the standards of being 17 kilometers away from the station and being seasonal. But if I can keep working with local businesses, I would hope to continue to do that.
Thank you. Mr. Cielo?
Just to clarify, the issue seems to be with the insurance companies is the replacement. And so if you have a heritage property, as he said, I wouldn't put it back the way it was, but if you've got 9-inch oak boards, you're entitled to have 9-inch oak boards in your new building, and you're not going to buy that at the hardware store. So it has to be custom built. If you have dormers or other unique features like Victorian houses, everything has to be custom built. And so it's not like you're just replacing a house with laminate flooring or just putting up 2x4s anymore. You're going to have to replace it the way it was, or you're entitled to that. And so Mr. Khan might say he's not interested in that, but 99% of the other heritage people want their house built. So a normal house might cost you $400,000 to rebuild. If your heritage house might cost you upwards of $1 million or $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 based on the custom building. That's the problem the insurance company doesn't want. And there have been some losses recently of heritage buildings, and the costs are astronomical.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Oxnard?
Have you been given any assurances, Mr. Khan, that with the deregistration it will actually make a change? Because you can't change the age of the home or the location. So I'm just concerned that you might be heading down a path that is not going to provide you with the end goal you're hoping for.
I'm sorry, the audio on that wasn't clear. I'm not sure of the comment or question.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering if any assurances have been received from the insurance companies that by deregistering the property, it will actually impact your premiums, because you can't change the age of the home or its location.
Thank you. The comment that I received from the local insurance agent was that she did not know, she did not have on my records that it was a heritage house, and that if the insurance company found out, and I would assume that she now feels obligated to let them know, that my insurance, I would have a strong likelihood of being canceled. The other underwriter that she has would not, under any circumstances or any conditions, insure a heritage home. So she had to exclude any change to another company, another underwriter. And she seemed quite concerned on my behalf that if they found out, and again, I feel she might be obligated to tell them that it was a registered house, that they would cancel me. Now, the other thing, as soon as I found this out, by the way, I rang up Ms. Bent and went right up the street, and she was kind enough to have a conversation with me. It was quite a gut punch, because the I might have been paying all these years for insurance. It was essentially invalid. If they did not have that on the record, that the house was registered, limited. And so right now, I just feel exposed to the degree that should anything happen to the house, that I might not be covered. So I'm essentially right now, there's a good chance that I do not have coverage on the house, even though I've been paying for it for decades.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Councillor Hare?
On comments from the building materials, it is possible to get materials for these old homes. I'm in the sawmill business. I can provide these materials. I know 5 other sawmills in this county that can provide materials. It's not impossible, and it's, compared to the hardware stores, very comparable, but besides the point. My initial potential problem with this would have been that this is just a way to increase the resale value. I would not want to see something deregistered simply so it could be resold. Now, after hearing from you, that doesn't seem to be the case. And one thing that was important to me running for council is I wanted people to be able to own their properties here without financial hardship and be able to pass on their properties to the next generation. Now, again, I also wouldn't want to see the for sale of this property just because it is registered and the insurance puts it beyond your budget. So I wouldn't want to see that either. And if that's the case, then I think I know what I would do. It's, I'd like to see, as a young person, I'd like to see these properties around here passed to the next generation. So that's my comments.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Well, thank you. You summarized my intent and also my feelings, not only for the house, but for the memories.
Thank you. Councillor
That
Wells?
have there over the years.
This is more directed towards the county. Excuse me. Mr. Call mentioned that he's never accessed any tax relief or grants or anything like that. Is that something that's accessible to individuals? I know sometimes churches and halls and stuff are able to access.
Absolutely. So he would be eligible to apply for the provincial grants that are available through Heritage and Culture.
Okay.
Our grants policy currently would not allow for funding to go out to an individual homeowner. But if it was a community hall or a church, of course, they would be eligible for grants under our own program. But there are grants available through the province for maintenance of properties that are registered as heritage properties.
Including private property?
Yes.
Okay.
Through the province.
All right. That was my concern, is if other homeowners continue to run into this, we have no means of protecting our built infrastructure moving forward. No one's going to want to register their properties. So.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Councillor Longmire?
No, I was just trying to
Okay.
get you attention.
Thank you. I guess, through your warden, the question, I guess, is for Linda Bent. You know, when properties are registered as heritage, it is a provincial list, is it not?
No, we have a municipal heritage registry in Annapolis County. So this property was registered as a municipal heritage property. They also have the option to step it up a notch and have a property registered as a provincial property. Our process is a little quicker, and when you call the province, they'll say, just get it done municipally, because we'll be 2 or 3 years out to entertain an application for provincial heritage registration.
I just wonder how many people would be affected by, I would assume that insurance companies would have to do a search on a property, an address, and ask the question and check the box that says, is your property a heritage property?
I believe currently, and I'm going to guess, we have approximately 35 or 40 properties in our municipal registry of heritage properties.
Leave it there.
It is an
Thanks.
insurance question.
Yes, exactly.
Any other comments or questions?
Does the county actively look for properties specifically that they would like to have registered, or is it by individual or organization that would approach
It's
the county?
typically by individual who comes forward and asks to be entertained for an application for municipal heritage.
At that time, would they be notified, given Mr.
I
Khan's
do now.
situation? Yeah.
Yes.
That could affect their
I absolutely do
insurance.
now, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Councillor Khan?
I'm sorry, that exchange wasn't clear to me. There's a little reverberation, I think.
I was just mentioning, Mr. Khan, that for anybody moving forward in the future of the county, if they wanted to register their homes for heritage status, if they'd be notified that it may affect their insurance rates.
Oh, okay. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Khan?
Yes, I attended a heritage thing at the church in Clarence with a lady by the name of Emma Lang. To get grants from the province or the feds, you don't have to be, there's 3 levels, like Linda has said, there's 3 levels of plaquing in heritage places. There's county, provincial, and federally. It doesn't matter which one or from all, you can apply to the province for heritage funding. If you're only plaqued as a county heritage, you're still accepted.
Okay.
You don't have to be plaqued as all 3, you can, or just one. At the time I brought forward, this application had come to the county, and she was she was aware that insurance companies were upping their game at the time. I know that Heritage for the province is looking into the situations with insurance companies, but again, if you're going to be penalized dollar value to pay extra because you've got your property plaqued or have the opportunity of losing your insurance, I think it's a shame that we have to look at it that way, because a lot of these heritage properties are very important to our county. But again, when it brings burden on the landowners, I think that if their option is to deregister, I guess that's something we're going to have to look at and be satisfied with.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Cranston?
For the benefit of Mr. Khan, at the beginning of his opportunity to speak, the warden would have read a statement that Mr. Khan understands and acknowledges the implications of deregistering his property, which he said he did. Since that time, he commented that he was not aware of the potential benefits of being a heritage property, which Linda Bent acknowledged as potential funding from the province. So I think it would just be reiterating that he understands that the registration of his property means he acknowledges that the potential for receiving those provincial funds would be eliminated.
Thank you for bringing that up. I wasn't clear that if a small property outside of a historic district, residential, privately owned, would be able to receive provincial funds for any additional costs. I thought Ms. Beth said that for maintenance costs, insurance, and so forth, that would not be available for a private owner or residents out of a historic district. I'm not sure how I would fare competing for funds, being where I am, the location, the significance of this house in comparison to downtown Annapolis and Granville Ferry, that have significant homes, private homes that have significant historic value, and also are large homes with much more higher property values as well. I'm a small house, isolated. There are no homes around me that have heritage that are plaqued or that I'm aware of. So I'm an isolated little small house out there, really. So I don't know how I would fare as a competitor. I assume then that there would have to be applications made and a case made to receive any such grants.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bent will clarify that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mr. Khan indicated during his initial chat with us that they've never taken advantage of any of the provincial grants. I did acknowledge that there are no municipal grants available for this type of work. The provincial grants are for, I'm not sure if they would even cover insurance, but they would cover restoration work. If you were even repainting the home, you would be eligible to get a certain percentage of the GST or the HST back for that property.
Very small amount.
It's, yeah.
It's small.
Yeah. Deputy Warden, you had a question or comment?
Thank you, and thank you for your time coming here today or attending on Teams. I just did a very quick online search for the grants that we're talking about for the province. So there are multiple grants through Heritage Nova Scotia, Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage. And from what it looks like, you could potentially apply for these based on being municipal registered. But there's a conservation work grant, which looks like it's fairly easy to apply for, and it invests in work carried out the property owner or eligible organization to the exterior appearance or core structure maintains the property unique heritage values, as well as there's conservation advice grants. So if you need an architect or something like that, you can get grants for that, as well as there is a heritage property tax rebate information. I don't know how that works with us, but just a simple search brought that up. So I just wanted to bring that to the table.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Egerberg?
Just along that same line, and I'm not sure, I guess this is directed to Ms. Bent. Do you know if in order to be able to apply for a provincial grant, would you have to be, is it contingent upon being provincially registered?
No, it would be whether you are municipal or provincial.
Okay, so that's not an issue. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Just
We have
one more question.
Councillor-
Is there any difference on how the province evaluates heritage properties for taxes?
We follow the Heritage Property Act. I don't think that their criteria for registering a property is any different than ours. We go through an architectural value, we look at the history of the property, that sort of thing.
More to the taxes that he actually pays. Would there be a discount in any form?
Municipal tax?
Yeah, it isn't, okay.
Does being a Canadian citizen weigh in on any of these?
No.
No, it does not. Okay, one more comment. Deputy Warden?
Just to follow up, so again, I clicked on that website to see what exactly qualifies you for these, and it clearly is demonstrated in there that a municipality registered historical building meets the criteria, and there's multiple things, even landscaping and streetscapes, and so just not houses. If there was just a street or a trail or what would also meet the criteria. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have, yes,
Just a
Councilor
quick
Fagan?
comment, what these grants you're talking about, again, are not for insurance. These grants are for work. Yes.
Yeah, it's just.
This other cost.
for
Want that
grants,
to be-
minimal amounts, probably. Thank you, Councilor Hare. Any other comments before we move on? Okay, thank you. Next step, Ms. Bench?
Sure. So the process for this type of application, when the public hearing is complete, is for municipal council to add this item to the agenda, and if affirmative, would make a motion to deregister the Captain James Anthony House property and remove from the Annapolis County Municipal Registry of Heritage Properties and deposit a notice of deregistration in the Registry of Deeds.
Thank you, Ms. Bench. Okay, at this time, I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Khan, for being with us today and to giving us your comments and your concerns. And we'll bring this meeting to an adjournment. And we'll move on to council.
Thank you for your time.
Do you want him to stay on?
No, you can take it.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, Mr. Khan.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, we need to have a motion to add the deregistration.
Could I ask for us to take a short break?
Oh, you want to take a break? Well, let me do this first. Let's make a motion to add to our agenda the deregistration of Captain James Anthony House, Port Wade. I need that motion and to be Deputy Warden, and I need a seconder, Councillor Longmire. And all in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? No. All in favor. Okay, so we will take a short minute break now, for a few minutes, or 10 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
have a motion that needs to be read. Could I call on Deputy Warden Anslow to read our motion?
Sure. I move that municipal council deregister the property located at 1625 Granville Road, Port Wade, known as the Captain James Anthony House, and remove it from the Annapolis County Municipal Registry of Heritage Properties.
I need a seconder for that motion. Councillor Hare? Are there any questions or comments? None seen. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Against, signify by saying no. 2. So 8, 9, yes, 2, no. Okay, motion passed. Okay. This concludes our day of our council meeting. I'd like to thank the residents that came to our meeting. You were hiding behind some of our councilors before, I didn't see you, so thank you for coming in and joining us. Hope everybody has a great day, and thank you, council, for our great time this morning together. I adjourn the meeting.